where do I even start with this? So this is going to be a vlog slash diary entry, I guess, that is going to summarize the past 1.5 years. So 1.5 years ago, I came back to YouTube, and that was around the time when I dropped my first course at university and decided to take my final exams again and try again with a new course, which I remember that I still wasn't sure of, like which one to choose. But that was the plan. However, I needed to wait for those exams, right? Because I dropped university like in the middle of the year. So I still had like half a year to wait for those exams. So at that point, I was left with tons of notes from university, useless by the way, no job, a lot of time, and a lot of unfinished business with the people from the past. You see, when I finished high school, I left quite a few bridges burnt, and as long as some of them, in my view, were better off just staying, behind in the past, alone. With others, I felt like maybe it would be okay to go back there, revisit, the bridge, maybe try to rebuild. Thing was that for the first time in my life, I was spending so much time completely alone. Because when you're at school, you spend time with people. When you're at university, you spend time with people. When you have job, unless you work from home, but at your workplace, you're also with people. And when you don't have any of those things, then where are the people? And that's when I found myself trying to trace my steps back, and I was trying to jump onto the same paths from which I was once running away, or I was simply pushed away from them. Soon enough, I realized that it might not be possible to go back, and I needed to face being alone for a while. And that thought was giving me a lot of worry, because doesn't being alone make you lonely? I realized that, well, not necessarily. In such circumstances, I took a chance and I actually started taking care of myself. I had so much free time. I was, able to spend it on journaling, drawing, creating, making videos, just spending time with myself. It was a little bit of a therapy time for myself to just take a break from the usual, take a break from the routine that I usually always had, at school, at university, and all of that. Because maybe I actually had unfinished business with myself. And so I stopped chasing after other people. And I started studying to those exams. But most importantly, I invested energy into deepening the relationships that I still had. Because, I'm usually the person who misses the people that probably think that I already forgot about them. But you can be most certain that I didn't. When I feel sad, I usually go back to this feeling of loneliness, and that's when I think about literally everybody that were ever important to me at any point of my life. And I start missing people. And that gives me this urge to do something about it, to go back to it. But maybe that's not the way. Maybe the way is to find something new, to create the new with the resources that you have. And that was my thinking. And that's when I really got engaged into some of my relationships, and they grew into absolutely beautiful ones. So at some point I really felt a little stronger, I felt stable. I felt like I had people that I can trust, that I can rely on. And I also, studied quite a bunch. So, I was ready to take those exams, to apply for university, and to finally get in. And that's exactly what happened. So actually last year, in October, I always mess up October and September. These are like the same months to me. But in October, I started studying psychology, and I was so excited for it. Not only for the studies, but I was excited for the studies too. Because, I spent so much time at home those months. I just felt like I had so much energy to finally start something. I mean, obviously I was starting my own projects and all of that, but like I kind of missed this routine. I kind of missed being rushed, you know, and to do something on time, to have deadlines, to have other people that are waiting for me to finish something. I don't know. Somehow I realized that I like it, that this is something that I like to do. So yeah, that was a part that I was excited about. But also there was this other part, like, you know, I'm going to meet people. It's not only my second chance at university, but also a second chance with people, with new relationships. So yes, I was hoping to meet new people, to make a friend, and maybe even have a group of friends. That would be amazing. At the same time, I was a little bit scared because, you know, this is still something new. I wasn't sure how it was going to work with those new people in this new environment. However, at that point, I felt safe. I knew that I had people that got my back. Still, you know, outside of university. So even if everything just doesn't work out, I still have them. And at the end of the day, it's like quality over quantity. Even if you have less people around you, at least you know for sure that you can trust them. Right? That's exactly when things were starting to fall apart again. I lost a friend. Yet again, I needed to walk away, and it cost me a lot. I just couldn't believe that this story is happening again. I was so tired of it. I couldn't handle it anymore, you know? Like at such point where I was kind of desperate to keep people, you know, to keep people close to me. Yet again, it's just not enough. And you know, for me, I said that, yeah, that's enough. Like, I have enough of this. I'm not going to let it drag me down again. I'm not going to get stuck again. Just like with all of those relationships from before. I decided that this is not going to draw my eyes away from looking forward. I was waiting for the new, right? So I'm not going to get stuck with the old. So I was moving forward. And it wasn't easy. Actually, right now, I don't think that I was handling it that well. I needed to shift my focus to something else. And that's when it started. Overworking. It was literally coffee after yet again coffee. You know, usually when everything falls apart, when the world is literally ending, and I feel like a total failure, or I feel like it is overwhelming, I at least get things done. Always. At home it can be crap. With friends it can be crap. With myself, like my relationship with myself, let it be crap. But my grades, like the job I'm doing, or the projects that I'm doing, they are always in perfect shape. Like never even a day late. Let me tell you, I was smashing them grades. Oh, and I was working at a coffee shop at the same time, because I was helping my parents pay for university, right? Oh, and also at that time, I started learning programming to make games, and I was also drawing drawings for a game that I had an idea for. I was, you know, sleeping sometimes. I started losing weight. Not so much, like 2 or 3 kilograms, but you know, still. It also happened the first time when I was at university, and I also kind of like jumped into this spiral of work. But you know, I was so tired, like to the point where one day I went back from work, went to sleep, and the next day I couldn't get up. Like, I couldn't. My muscles were not allowing. Literally, I spent the whole day in bed watching, I think, a series or something. So yeah, it was like that for months. And no, I didn't make friends at university. If anything, the stress was only adding to, you know, my anxiety and grumpiness, I guess. I just really didn't feel like making friends. I didn't feel like making and maintaining relationships the new ones at least. I just remember being extremely depressed with, you know, good grades, some money saved, but still feeling like a complete failure. And then it was the New Year's. And this is a special time for me because, you know, first it's Christmas, so I spend time with family, and then it's the actual New Year's. And I always make wishes. Like for a few years I've been making wishes for the New Year's. I'm not gonna reveal them because, you know, the year is still ongoing, so like if you tell, then the wish doesn't come true, right? However, a week later, after the New Year's, it's my birthday. And I remember that I wasn't so excited for my birthday this year because I realized that I don't even have enough people to invite to make it a party. I don't really believe that you gotta have a big party for your birthday and that's the only way to celebrate it. Completely not. But my point is that I usually would like to have a party. I usually would like to have a meeting with all of my friends, just have a good time all together like a family. And it just hit me how it looked this year and how it used to look years ago. So I remember feeling kind of embarrassed about the situation that I am in, very disappointed and kind of hopeless. But I remember that life showed me otherwise this time, that I wasn't hopeless. It wasn't such a bad situation, you know, even if I felt really bad at that time. I got so much, at that time, like during my birthday time, I got so much support from many people. You know, in such moments you realize that even a small text from somebody means a lot, you know, and sometimes such people care that you wouldn't even expect them to care. And then they do. And this is just sweet. I also spent a little bit of time with family for my birthday. So yeah, it was good. However, I was still not doing well. I wasn't handling the stress that I was going through, and I realized that I couldn't do it alone. I didn't know how to handle all of this. And so that's when I decided to go back to therapy. I used to be in therapy some time ago, but I finished that, I think in spring last year. No, like last year, 2 years ago. So yeah, some time ago. But yeah, this year I felt like I needed help again. So yeah, I started therapy and tried to get through the year. The second term of this academic year feels like every day it was the same. It just was so dull and depressing for me, and I was just wishing every day that it finally comes to an end. And I completely gave up on socializing, on trying to make it all better, because I just didn't have the energy to do it. And I was just telling myself, when vacations start, I can do nothing all day, every day. And that's exactly what is happening right now. Right now I have my vacations, I still have 1 month of it left. And yeah, I was really successful at doing nothing at all. And you know what? I actually started meeting people, just left from university. I just wonder why life is sometimes so ironic. And yeah, I don't feel depressed anymore. I am not stressed. I'm not hopeless nor lonely. All I'm thinking about right now is that, well, I gotta go to university again, right? And I gotta make it work. I mean, obviously I don't have to, I can always resign. Thing is that I don't want to resign from it. I don't want to drop out of university again, mostly because I love this course, really. I like what I'm studying. I want to make it work somehow for myself, but there is something happening with me when I start working. It's like I can't help myself start overworking, and there's also something wrong with me in big groups of people, like groups of strangers, you know? My approach is that life is an ongoing lesson, and it's not like you can ever figure it out and from this point on it's just going to be perfect all the time and you're going to be finally happy. That's not exactly how it works. Life, it never stops being a lesson. You always have something to learn because every day is different. You know, it's like, okay, you are done with this one problem, but then you realize that there's another problem or something else just occurs. My point is, I guess, you gotta keep trying. and I am going to keep trying, and I'm going to give myself another chance to try, to see what will happen, what I can do. And all I can hope for is that this experience will finally come in handy sooner or later to me or to others. I know that I am super inactive on this channel and I am like having this back and forth presence here, but I don't know, I hope that you like this video. I think I'm going to kind of rebrand, like I'm talking as if I had a brand. I think I'm going to change the aesthetic on this channel. I created this project, Lovely by Nature, some time ago, but I think I'm not going to stick to it because I don't want to limit myself to something specific, and also I want this channel to feel a little bit more personal, so that's why I think I'm going to change the name of this channel to my name, which is Zuzia. So yeah, that's just an idea. Yeah, thanks. Bye.